So, welcome to this AEBC training session on the Windows PC Outlook Classic Calendar. Basically, Office 365, but the old version of Outlook, not Outlook New, not even going there. This session is going to be recorded and posted to our YouTube channel. So if you're watching this now on YouTube, please remember to subscribe to our channel. It'll get you notifications when we put up more like this, and it'll help us to get known. Hey, and what's
Question.
wrong with that? Certainly.
So you said I have Windows 11 and Outlook New, so I should say goodbye because obviously it's not going to work for me then.
No, unfortunately, I don't know anything about the Outlook New calendar, and I don't know if I want to. Not for now, anyway.
Well, I've also got Windows 11 as well, so.
Windows 11 isn't the issue. It's what version of Outlook you're using. And if you're still using the one that doesn't act like a website, then you're using Outlook Classic. Outlook New
Yeah.
is very different.
Okay.
Okay, well,
Extremely
I'm going to
different.
just stay on and see if it is the same, because
Yeah.
I think it is Classic, because I'm pretty sure it says Classic when I open it, so.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Okay.
Judith,
Marcy,
good luck with
it's
Outlook New.
it's Richard speaking. Judith, you might find that it might be worth staying because the Outlook New, I've noticed I had some experience with it, but I've noticed they've started adding more of the keyboard shortcuts back from Outlook Classic. So it might be worth still listening to and making note of some of the keyboard shortcuts that Marcy's going to cover. And then,
Try to
and then you can
remember
see if
them.
they work in your new. And then
All
the other
right.
option is Judith, you can switch your Outlook New back to Classic in the from the ribbon as well too.
Yeah, I go to Windows and do the and then I get Outlook, and there's two things on there. It says Outlook and then Outlook New, so I can go back to Outlook, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And I like I said, I don't know much about Outlook New. So we won't go there right now. All right. So the first thing I want to say is that there are many different ways of doing things on a computer. Windows is not as much, the Mac for sure. There may be 20 different ways to do something. So the way that I'm going to show you that I use Outlook may not be the way, or the calendar, sorry, may not be the way you've been using it now. And you're free to stay with the way that you're using it now, but I have found this the most accessible way to use the Outlook calendar. But before I do that, I'm just going to make a few overall comments about it. Unlike the iPhone calendar, you only get to read one calendar at a time in Outlook on Windows. So if you have 5 email addresses and you have people sending you meeting invites to all 5 of those email addresses, you could technically end up with 5 different calendar folders. And you can move between them with the same Control-Shift-V that you move between folders on the email side of things. Sorry, not Control-Shift-V. That's move an item to a folder. I lied. Control-Y or Shift F6 if Control-Y doesn't work. Sorry about that. See, what I'm trying to say is that you don't really want to have 5 calendars to look at. So the idea is to try and get people to send meeting invites all to the same email address. And if they don't, then you want to go to that folder, that calendar folder for that other email address, and move the item to your main calendar. And that's the Control-Shift-V. So this is really can be very frustrating if you want to keep track of things and you've only got a computer. Because if you don't remember that you may have a meeting that's sitting in your second email address, you'll get reminded if it's got a reminder, but it'll be like 15 minutes before it starts. You won't have noticed it when you flip through your daily events to see what's coming up that day. So it's very important if you're using Outlook for Windows that you figure out which email address is your primary one, and you try and get everybody to send their invites to you at that email address. And sometimes what happens is they'll send you an invite and it'll go to 2 email addresses and you'll end up with 2. And so always accept the one that goes into the calendar that you're going to be checking often. It's much safer that way. So the first thing I'm going to suggest, which is going to seem rather radical maybe, and maybe no one has ever suggested it, but there are various views of the calendar. You can have a day view, a week view, a month view, or, and this is the view that I really like, and it's the one that I use, and it's the one that I can show everybody, is active appointment view or active view. And what it does is it gives you a list of your appointments as if you're in your inbox and you have a list of messages, and you can sort them so that they go from top to bottom, so that, say, December, if you have an upcoming dentist appointment in September of 2025, it would be at the top and the dates would go down, descending back towards today. Or you can put them the other way if you rather have your oldest appointment on the top. And your daily appointments disappear once the day is over. Your recurring appointments stay. So the first thing that I would like to show you how to do is to change the view. So I am going to try and share my screen. But before I do that, I am going to slow down my speech because it's right now at 76%, which is probably not a good idea. We'll try that. Okay. Okay, I am just making sure that I can share sound.
Screen sharing meeting controls where you have started screen share, press F6 to switch between open Zoom windows alert. Screen sharing meeting controls window.
Okay.
Participants can.
All right. Did everybody hear that? Can I have one person unmute and just tell me if you could hear my audio?
We could. Could you
Okay.
Could you make it slower?
Uh,
Any?
yeah.
Okay.
Right now it's at
NVDA menu.
I went down 30%.
Preferences submenu
but
P. Settings
I will
dot
go down
NVDA
more.
settings colon. Speech to offset speech drop change dot voice colon variant colon comment colon slider 46 alt plus 45 35
35, that's good for
Stats
me.
slash message left paren HTML right paren dialog.
Okay, and I apologize for his accent.
Yeah,
He's
it's pretty bad.
an he's an e-speak, but I find e-speak is very, I like the responsiveness of it. So I sort of put up with. Okay. So I'm going to go into Outlook.
Screen sharing meet inbox dash resident at blindcanadians.com dash outlook table view table unread as attachment Carol Austin.
We're not going to listen to what Carol has sent me now. We're going to go. Okay, so the easiest way to get to the calendar is Control 2. So control key and the 2 on the number pad, the number row, and I'm just going to
Table
do
view
that.
table. Stay colon. Fairfield in and Suites Toronto Airport, comma. Fairfield in and Suites Toronto Airport.
Okay, so that's the appointment that it's just sitting on. That's in the future. So I'm going to show you how to change your view if you're not in active appointment view. And I had to, I'll be totally honest, I had to figure this out today because it's been so long since I've done this that all my settings are there and I don't remember how I did them. So what you do is you do Alt V to get to the view menu.
Ribbon tabs tab control expanded. View tab selected Alt, comma. V5 of 7.
Okay, and I'm going to go down arrow.
Oh.
And we're going to wait because NVDA has decided not to say anything.
View grouping. Current
There
view
we
grouping 1 of
go.
5. Change view collapsed Alt, comma. V, comma. C, V1 of 3.
Okay, so change view. So we're going to open that because it's a collapsed menu.
Expand. Active 4 of 4.
Okay, so right now mine is on active, but if I left arrow from there,
List not selected 3 of 4.
we've got list,
Preview not selected 2 of 4.
preview,
Calendar not selected 1
and
of 4.
calendar. And my guess is that if you did calendar, that's how you get to the day view, month view, week view stuff. But I don't want that. So if you wanted to select one of those, you would hit enter on it and it would change the view for you. So I'm going to escape because I don't want to make any changes there.
Calendar-resident at blindcanadians.com-outlook. View grouping. Current view grouping 1 of.
And
Table
I'm
view
going to escape again and I'm back to my calendar. So I'm just going to move down. So that was my Fairfield Inn stay. That's May 16th, if May 15th.
Sydney B. Dot. Lyndon Access to Justice Award Ceremony, comma. Mon 12-May-2002.
Yes, Penny.
So active views starts with today or the days that today's date and goes into the future down. That's what you would see.
It would go depending on it, because that's the day that I like it will start wherever it decides to start when it comes to showing you things. It might start you at the top of your calendar.
Mhm.
So it might start you with the appointment the farthest in the future, or it might start you at the farthest in the past, or it might fit right in the middle. Like I have no idea how it decides. The only reason it started on this Fairfield Inn thing was because when I was playing with this earlier today, I landed there. And that's, I guess, the last appointment that I was sitting on
Oh.
before I went away from it. So God only knows where it's going to land. But
Probably where it
basic,
was when you left.
yeah, probably, but not necessarily, because if you've been in day view, it may come to today and it may not. I never know what the default is. Sorry. I wish I
Mhm.
could answer that question with confidence, but I
Marcia,
can't.
it's Pat. Question.
Yes.
When you open Outlook, what did you ask us to press?
To get to the calendar,
Right.
Control 2.
Control
And the number 2.
Okay,
Control
thanks.
1 will take you from the calendar to mail, and Control 2 will take you from mail to the calendar. And if you hit the wrong one, like if you hit Control 2 now, it just does nothing. So, yeah.
And that's controlled on your numbers row. Control 2 on your numbers row.
Yes, the 2
Okay.
on the numbers row. So
Okay,
the one
thanks.
above,
Sorry about that.
with your, no problem. That's not a problem. So same as when you want to do a new email, when you're in your calendar and you want to do a new appointment, it's Control N. So I'm going to start one just to talk through what goes where.
Untitled -appointment dialog. Title edit multi-line Alt plus L.
Okay, so that's where the title would go. So what do you want to call this? What is it? let's say dentist. So I just type dentist.
Start date, comma edit selected Q29-April-2025.
Okay, the next, when you tab, so the way you wander through this is with the tab key. And I'm hearing Jaws in the background. Someone, sorry, it's just
Might be me. Sorry about that. Oh,
it's
God.
distracting. Sorry. So the first field that you tab to is going to be your date. Now you can do a couple of things here. If it's in the next couple of days, you can just move your cursor
Web 30-April-2025.
down and go through the dates. So say I want to do the dentist appointment on Friday. Why bother writing it in? I can just down arrow to
502-May-2025.
Friday the 2nd of May. However, if your appointment is in June, you don't want to be down arrowing forever. That's just not, it's not helpful. So depending on what your day is set up as, how your dates are formatted. Mine are now formatted day/month/year. So if I wanted to set this dentist appointment for the 2nd of June, it would be 02/06/ and you can do 2025 or just 25. So the easiest is 02/06/25. So I've just done that, and I'm going to
Date picker
tab.
button.
And there's a date picker, and my guess is, though I've never used this will open an actual calendar from which you can select the dates. I have never tried it, don't know how accessible it is. Frankly, it's not worth trying. If everything is working for you, there's no reason to try it. So the next one is going to be the time field for the start time.
Start time, comma edit selected 3:30 p.m.
And it will always default to the closest half hour in the future. So it's after 3, but it's not after 3:30, so it's defaulted to 3:30. But I can move it up to go back to another hour in the day. So let's see, let's say the dentist appointment is at noon. So I'm going to go back to 12 p.m.
2:30 p. 2:00 1:30 p.m. 1:00 12:30 p.m. 12:00 p.m.
But say that see there it moves by half hours, but say your dentist decided that you had to come in at 12:15. So how do you fix that? Because you want the appointment start time to be as close to what it is as possible. So what you can do is if you tab, which is going to go to the end date.
End date, comma edit selected 102-Jan-2025.
And remember, I set the start date to be June 2nd, so the end date is going to confirm that what I wrote, the 02/06/25 actually worked. And it's always going to be the same day until you change it. And you can change it if you want to do a multi-day event. Say you're going to a conference and you want to block that time so that you know that you're going to be busy. So you can move that date down to, the next day or 3 days or 2 days, 5 days, whatever. But we're going to change the time from 12 to 12:15. So you've tabbed to the date, the end date, and now you're going to shift tab back to the time.
Start time, comma edit selected 12:00 p.m.
And now it says combo edit. So now you can arrow
12:00 M-P
backwards.
Space 0:0:2:1.
So
2,
1 2
0:0.
colon
Space.
00, and I want to make this appointment at 12:15. So I'm going to backspace over the zeros,
0:0.
and I'm going to hit 15. So now
12:15 p.m.
So that's my start time is 12:15 now. And the calendar, the way I have it set up, and there are a bunch of calendar options. If we have time, I can take you through the options. Some of them are not helpful, some of them are, but my calendar defaults to an hour for each meeting. So when I tab past the end date, which we know is Monday, the 2nd of June,
End date, comma edit selected 102-2025.
and
Date
then
picker
we've
button,
got
date
our
picker.
other date picker button, which we're not going to worry about. And here comes our end time, and it's going to be 1:15 p.m.
End time, comma edit selected 1:15 p.m.
So it picks up whatever start time you've decided, and it just adds an hour. Okay. So
All day
next,
checkbox not checked, Alt plus Y.
so remember I said sometimes you might want to do a multi-day thing. So if you're going to be gone for a few days, you can check this and it'll show the whole day as being busy. If you don't check it, it knows that, okay, use the start date and the end date and the times that I put here. Otherwise, it'll just show the whole day as being busy. So sometimes that's helpful, sometimes not, but it's there if you need it.
Time zones checkbox not checked, Alt plus Z.
Okay, time zones. I totally don't know what this checkbox does. All I know is if I leave it unchecked and I set up a meeting and send it out, it will automatically convert to the time zone of the recipient, regardless of the fact that mine is Eastern. So my guess is that if you check that it will force the calendar to do 12 p.m. regardless of where you are, which means that half of your people will miss the meeting, which is not what you're trying to do. So we'll leave that.
Make recurring button Alt plus A.
We'll come back to that. It used to be Control G, but now it's Alt A to get there. I think Control G will still work to get to the recurring dialogue. I will try it just for fun when we're done this. And we'll talk about recurring. So,
Location button.
okay, there's a location. You can hit and you can spacebar on that and it'll get you to a search box, and you can search for a location if you need to.
Location edit multi-line.
But this is the real interesting one. So if you're putting an appointment in your calendar and you've managed to figure out which calendar will sync with your phone, if you put a Zoom link in this field here, the location field, it will translate to your iPhone calendar. And if you double tap on the event name and then go up to the top of the screen, find the event name again, and flick down once with one finger, there's a join button, and it will pick up whatever Zoom link you've put into the location field on this Outlook calendar on your computer. So it's very, very good if you've got your calendars synced. This location field becomes really helpful on the Windows side. And if someone sends you a calendar invite to a Zoom link and they've done it to a Zoom meeting and they've done it correctly, when you tab through the appointment that you got, that's where you will find the Zoom link. You'll often find it in the next field, which is the document or notes section. But you will always, if it was done properly, you will always find the Zoom link right here in the location edit field.
Document page 1 section 1.
Now, this is document. On the iPhone it's known as notes, but on the Outlook calendar it is document. Whenever I'm sending a Zoom meeting link to someone, I also put it in the document here, because what I have discovered is that it is much easier to get into a Zoom meeting from an Outlook calendar invite from this area because you can turn it into a web page with JAWS. It's insert Z. With NVDA, it's the NVDA key in the space bar, and it makes that click or beep, and it becomes a web page, and you can tab to the link and hit enter, and it will open a Zoom meeting. We're not going to do that because it'll kick me out of this one. But that's how I got into this one. Is I went to my calendar invite and tabbed to the document where I have set up a recurring meeting link, a meeting for this training time so that I don't miss it. And I put the link in the location field so that if I decide to join from my phone, that's easy. And I put it in the document field so that I can join easily from here. Now, the other things while we're in here is say you are creating an appointment. We'll do the parts from this and then we'll go to the recurring stuff. But say you're creating an appointment and you realize that, oh, my friend has to come. She needs to know about it too, because I don't want to go to the dentist alone. So you can do it two ways. One is you can start a new meeting, which I'll show you how to do in a minute. But if you're in an appointment already and then you realize, oh, I want to invite someone, it's very easy to do from within here. And what you do is you go to the home ribbon, which is Alt-H.
Ribbon tabs tab control expanded. Appointment tab selected Alt, H2 of 7.
And it's appointment tab, and you arrow down.
Appointment grouping. Actions grouping 1 of 10. Delete button. Delete this item. Alt, H, D 1 of 3.
So you can delete this item while you're sitting here. I don't know why you would want to.
Forward split button collapsed. Forward this item.
You can forward it to someone else.
Skype meeting grouping 2 of 10. Skype meet.
You can make it a Skype meeting until Skype goes away.
Team viewer grouping 3 of 10. Online meeting button Alt, H, Y.
Okay, you could do a team viewer. Again, not sure why you would want to.
OneNote grouping 4 of.
OneNote.
Attendees grouping 5 of 10. Invite attendees toggle button not pressed. Invite other people.
So you can invite attendees and it says toggle button not pressed. So if I pressed it, it would take me.
Unavailable dialog. Required edit multi-line.
It would take me into an email field saying required. So there's required and optional. And let's see, who do we want to? We're going to invite Pat to join me at the dentist for whatever reason. So I'm going to type her name. And I don't.
Left paren, right paren, dot director to @blindcanadians.com, dot left paren, recent people right paren, dot.
Yeah, and that's the one I want. So I'm just going to tab. So it treats it, it gets all your contacts. So anybody who you can just put the first initial of their email and it just pops up, that's going to happen here too. So we've invited Pat.
Optional edit multi-line.
And we don't have anybody who's optional.
Start date, combo edit selected 102.
And so now we are back in our calendar with the start date and option and the end date and all of that. But we're going to go back because there's one more important thing that you want to do.
Ribbon tabs tab control.
So we are back in the ribbon with Alt-H. We are going to go down.
Meeting grouping. Actions grouping 1 of 10. Delete.
And we've got delete, which we heard
Forward
before. Forward.
Skype meeting.
Skype.
Team viewer.
OneNote
group.
OneNote.
Attendees grouping.
Attendees. We've dealt with that already.
Check names button. Check the names and e-mail.
And check the names if we needed to do that. We
Options
don't.
grouping 6 of 10. Reminder combo box collapsed. Choose when to be reminded of this item. 2 of 3. Reminder edit. Choose when to be reminded of this item. Alt, H, R, E selected 15 minutes.
Okay. So this is my default reminder is 15 minutes. But if I wanted to change that, so this is when your calendar will pop up a nice little window saying, hey, you've got to go to the dentist or whatever the appointment is. If 15 minutes isn't right for that meeting, say you need 30 minutes so that you know you can get there on time. you can alt down arrow.
15 none 1 of 25.
And it takes you in, and I apologize for that beep. I'm not sure what NVDA is doing, but it's been doing that since I updated yesterday. So there is, every once in a while it does that beep, and I have no clue what it is or why it is. But it starts with none. So if you don't want to be reminded, you would hit enter there, or
0 minutes 2 of 25.
0 minutes.
5 minutes 3 of 25.
5.
10 minutes 4 of 20. 15
10,
minutes. 30 minutes 6.
15, 30.
1 hour 7 of 20.
1 hour.
2 hours 8 of.
2 hours.
3 hours 9.
3 hours.
4 hours 10.
4 hours. And so on and so on and so on. You can, Outlook allows you to be notified 2 weeks in advance, which can be helpful sometimes if you have to arrange things. So I'm just going to escape out of that because I want to leave it at 15 minutes and it really doesn't matter. But if I wanted to change it,
3 hours 9 of.
if I hit 3 hours, so my appointment was at 12:15. So at 9:15, I would get a reminder that day. Okay. So I'll just hit enter just to
Reminder
get out
edit.
of
Choose
there.
when to be reminded of this item. Dot. Alt, comma, H, comma, RE selected 3 hours.
So it's 3 hours and it tells you, yeah, that's what I wanted. Okay. Let's see. Is there anything else helpful
3 hours
on
unselected.
here?
Yes.
There's not much else on this.
Dialogue,
So I'm
start
just
me.
going to escape out of that menu. And we're going to talk about recurring. So I said I was going to try Control G and see if it works. So let's try Control G. And
zero.
it doesn't work anymore. So I need to try
Date picker but.
to tab to that recurring. I'm going to try Alt A and see if that does it, because that's the
Appointment recurrence dialog week left
Okay.
paren S right paren on colon. DA.
All right. So don't know why Microsoft has chosen to change that, because it's been Control G forever, but it's now Alt A. So Alt A from your calendar appointment will take you into the place to set up a recurring appointment. So you can have an appointment recur every day, every week, every month, or every year, and multiples of those. So you could have this dentist appointment, say you wanted it could be, and for the months, it could be the 2nd of June, the 2nd July, 2nd of August, and so on. Or it could be the first month of the first Monday of June, the first Monday of July, the first Monday of August, and so on. So there are various ways you can make things recur. So the first thing you get is how long is this appointment and when does it start and stop? So I stopped it from saying things, but I am sitting right now on
12 colon 15 p.m.
So that's the start time of this appointment.
End colon. Edit alt plus end selected 1 colon 15 p.m.
That's the end time. Now it's going to tell me, as if I didn't know, it's going to tell me that's an hour.
Duration colon. Edit alt plus you selected 1 hour.
Okay. So just in case you couldn't figure that out, it will tell you whether it's an hour, 45 minutes, half an hour, whatever the length of the appointment is.
Recurrence pattern grouping. Recurrence pattern comma. Weekly radio button checked alt plus W.
Okay, so we have radio buttons, and when you have radio buttons, it means it's a single choice. So it's either weekly, and I'm going to go up just for fun.
Recurrence pattern comma. Daily radio button checked alt plus D.
Okay, so we've got daily. I'll just go up.
Recurrence pattern
yeah,
comma. Yearly
okay.
radio button checked alt.
Okay,
Recurrence pattern comma.
yearly,
Monthly radio. Recurrence pattern
monthly,
comma. Weekly radio.
weekly, or daily. So I'm going to do monthly just so that I can show you that first, like on the 2nd of June or on the first Monday.
Recurrence pattern comma. Monthly radio button
So-
checked alt plus M.
So we are on monthly now. So I was just up or arrowing and down arrowing, and you just listen to the choice that you want, or just listen for the choice. And like I said, it's daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. So now it's going to ask me how often daily on monthly. Like, is it going to be every 1 month, every 2 months, every 3 months?
Day radio button checked Alt plus A.
No, it's going to do the day first. Okay. So right now it's set to day, which means that it would be the 2nd of June, the 2nd of July, the 2nd of August, or if I set it to 3 months, it'll be the 2nd of June, the 2nd of September, and so on. Or this is a radio button, so this is day. So I'm going to arrow down.
The radio button checked Alt plus E.
And it's the first Monday of June, first Monday of July, first Monday of August. So those are your twos.
The radio button checked day
It's
radio.
either day, meaning it's going to be the date, or it's the. So we'll do
The radio button.
And then the next one.
The editable text of every editable text month's combo box collapsed. The editable text of every editable text month's edit first.
Okay, so it's the first, so because it reads too much, which doesn't really help us, but this first field after you've chosen the is, what is it? So it's the first Monday of the month. We know that. It's the 2nd of June. It's a Monday. So it's got to be the first Monday of the month. So the next thing.
The editable text of every editable text month's combo box collapsed. The editable text of every editable text month's edit Monday.
So it's the first Monday of
recurrence pattern grouping. The editable text of every editable text month's edit selected 1.
Okay, so this is where you decide, do I want it to be 1 month or every 2 months or every 3 months? And you would just change that. I think it's an edit box.
1 unselected.
Yeah, it's an edit box.
1.
So you would just, it's selected. You could just type, say 2.
12.
Oh, no, we don't want it every 12 months. That we could do by the year.
1,
so we'll
2.
get rid of, we'll delete the 1. So this would be the first Monday of June, the first Monday of August, the first Monday of October, and so on.
Range of recurrence grouping start colon. Range of recurrence comma start colon. Edit Alt plus S Mon 02-2025.
So when is this range of recurrences starting? It's starting on June 2nd because that's the one that we made the appointment for originally. So we're going to tab again. So I tabbed to that from the number of months, like, how often. So
date picker button, date picker.
Then we could do a date picker again. We're not going to.
End by colon. Radio button checked Alt plus B.
Okay. So then you have a choice of choosing the date that it ends by or choosing the number of recurrences. So say it's June, you're coming up on June and you have a dog and you've got to give them heartworm from June to November. So you want just for the 6 months that you have to do this so you don't have to remember. So you would change that radio button from the end by to
end after colon. Radio button checked Alt plus F.
End after. And the end after means how many occurrences of this appointment do you want? And the next tab gets us to the number. So you would put in the number of occurrences. And if you left it with the end by
colon. Radio button checked Alt plus B.
The next one is a date.
End by colon. Edit selected Mon 01-Dun-2026.
So it assumes that I want this to happen for every 2 months till June 1st of 2026. So for the next year. And usually that's what it will. If you do an end by, usually it'll pick a year from now. And you can change that. You can edit that and say you didn't want it to go till next June. You could figure out when it should end, or you could just do the number of occurrences, count them, and change it to end after, and then you would put the occurrence number in.
Date picker button. Date
There's
picker.
a date picker if you need to look and see. Again, I don't know how accessible it is. But like I said, there are many ways to do these things.
OK button.
And then there's an OK. And once you hit the OK, you end up back
Pressed. Dentist
at
dash
our appointment.
Dentist dash meeting series dialog. Info bar edit. You haven't ticked sent this meeting invitation yet. Not 5 instances of this recurring appointment conflict with other appointments on your calendar. Not read only.
Oh, that's helpful. So 5 of these instances, there are only going to be 5 more because it's every 2 months, right? And we started, and so every one of them conflicts with something already on my calendar. Oh, wow. Now the problem and the thing that bothers me about the way Outlook handles series of appointments is that if you were to go to your active appointment list once you send this thing, which we're not going to send it, it will only create one appointment. And that appointment will stay put in your recurring appointment section of your calendar, which is anything before today, really, because the things before today that aren't recurring, they go away. And if you are looking through your calendar in active appointment view and you check around July, whatever the first or August, whatever the first Monday of August is, and you're thinking, okay, I don't have anything around there. I've got an appointment on July 31st. I got an appointment on August the 5th, but that's not the first Monday. So, oh, I don't have anything. And you go and double book yourself because it doesn't show you an instance of the appointment every time it should. It's very frustrating. Whereas on, I hate to always bring up the iPhone, but in contrast, if you were to look on August, whatever the first Monday in August was, you would see the appointment there because it's a recurring appointment and it would automatically put an instance of that appointment there. And you could check the first Monday of every month from now until whenever you told it to end, and you would always find that appointment. It wouldn't be a mystery. It would be there. That's one thing about the Outlook calendar in an active appointment view that is a little bit annoying. I really wish it would just create an appointment for every time that it should, but it doesn't. And so you just have to be careful. That's all I can say. It has bit me a few times, which is why it's not my major calendar anymore. But it is helpful because I can put something into Outlook and know that it shows up on my phone, which is my major calendar. But okay, I'm gonna stop there. And Penny, did you
Can
have
you
some-
at some point, not on this this call, but how you do syncing calendars to your iPhone? Is that have you done that?
You
at
know
any
how it is?
time?
It's very easy. You just decide on the email address that's on both. And you go to the settings on your iPhone,
Mhm.
go to the mail app,
Yep.
go into the account that you want to sync and make sure calendar is turned on. And then you go back to Outlook and make sure that the calendar is focused in the right mail folder. So you may have, so I'm going to escape out of
Microsoft
this
Outlook dialog.
mess and say, no, I don't want to save that.
Microsoft Outlook.
Come on. Go away.
Okay. Microsoft
What's
Outlook
my
dialog.
okay?
Edit read-only multi-line. What do you want to do with?
Oh, what do I want to do?
Cancel
Okay.
button. Non-tick T save changes. Radio button checked. Alt plus D.
Okay, so don't change
Okay
it.
button.
Yeah,
Pressed.
just don't save
Dentist
it.
calendar dash resident.
Okay, so in Outlook, as I said, every mail account has a calendar. So I'm going to try and go into
Calendar folder
folders.
stream view. Level 1. My calendar's not selected. Not checked. Expanded.
Okay, so I'm going to hit home to get to the top of the mess. Okay.
Level 2 calendar colon. Dash resident at blindcanadians.com. Not selected. Checked.
Okay, so I'm just going to arrow down. So my president of Blind Canadians is where my calendar, that's the one that I have chosen to use, that
Shit,
where I
sorry.
hope, yeah, I hope that everything's gonna go.
United States holidays colon. Dash resident at blindcanadians.com. Not selected. Not checked. Level 2.
Now, there are a million calendars in this list. Depending on how many email addresses you have, you could have tons of calendars. So the idea is to choose which one you are going to deal with and which one that then you're going to make sure that that's where you put everything. And then on your iPhone, you will always make sure that that's the calendar you pick when you're adding stuff. And you can make it you can tell it which one is your default calendar. And then life is good. But it took me a long time to figure this out. And boy, when I realized that my Exchange calendar, that's the first one that started to work properly. My president of Blind Canadians, that was the calendar. I could add something in Outlook and then I could go and check. And oh my goodness, it was on my iPhone too. Hey, isn't that fantastic? And so that is that. And there was one thing. Oh yes. If you know, so I'm gonna escape out of this. Or at least I'm gonna try. Oh, it's not gonna let me. Let's see. Okay, NVDA.
United States.
All right. So I am going to
Calendar
go back to
level
my
1. My calendar. Level
president
2.
and hit enter because otherwise I don't think it wants to let me out of this.
Calendar colon. Dash resident at blindcanadians.com.
Yes, let's go there. Okay, so Outlook is doing funky things, so I'm gonna do Control-1.
Table view
And
table.
that's
Unread
gonna
as a tab.
and that's gonna get me back to email, and then I'm gonna go back to the calendar with Control-2 and hopefully
Table view table. Sydney B. Dot.
there we go, and we're back to my calendar. All right, sometimes sometimes Outlook just it freezes. If say, remember we did a calendar appointment and then I said, oh, I want to invite attendees. Well, if you know you're going to invite someone, there's an easier way of doing it, and that is to start a new meeting instead of a new appointment. And there is a shortcut key for it, and I think it's Control-Q, but it may have changed. So what we're going to do is do Alt-H to go to the menu, the ribbon.
Ribbon tabs tab control.
And then we're going to go down one.
Home grouping. New grouping 1 of 6. New appointment button. Create a new item. Dot. Alt comma H comma N 1 of 4.
Okay, so we don't want to create an appointment in this case. We want to create a meeting. So we're going to arrow right.
New meeting button. Set up a new meeting. Dot. Invite others to join you in a meeting. Dot. Alt comma H comma M R 2 of 4.
Okay, so we're going to space bar on that because we're going to do a new meeting. And all the difference is that if it ever does what it's supposed to do, and I just space barred, so
new meeting setup.
It shouldn't. It should have. I'll try enter and see if that works. And Outlook is doing the only difference between a new appointment and a new meeting is that when you do a new meeting, it lands first on the email addresses. So it asks you who you're sending it to, and then it asks for the title, and then everything else is exactly the same. Exactly the same.
So it puts
So
it into
Cindy-
your calendar.
Yes, it does.
Mhm.
And it sends it to the people whose email addresses you add there. The same way it would if I had sent that dentist appointment. Remember, I went into attendees and I added Pat's name. If I would have done Alt S to save that calendar invite, it would have sent it to her. So I'm going to escape out of that.
Table view table.
There we go. We're out of there because it decided it didn't want to do anything, but that's okay. Let me think. I'm trying to think if there's anything else before I take questions. You can delete calendar appointments. So say you didn't say you no longer had that dentist appointment. If it's in your active list, you just hit the delete key. You can edit the appointment by hitting enter on any of them, and then you can edit it. So
Niche brainstorming com.
oh, let's try that one. So AEBC niche brainstorming, which was sent to me by someone else. So we'll hit enter on it.
Niche brainstorming meeting dialog. Info bar edit accepted on 19-Mar-2025 4:20 p.m. Read only.
So it's going to tell me when I accepted it. That's nice.
Info bar accept.
And
Title
if I
edit
tab,
multi-line niche brainstorming.
so we've got the title of the meeting.
Organizer edit read only multi-line leap now comma. Plus executive at blindcanadians.com.
And who organized it, which was Lee.
Sent edit read only web 19-Mar-2025 4:18 p.m.
And that's when he sent it, was 19th of March at 4:28.
Time edit read only multi-line May 8, 2025 7:00 p.m. -10:00 p.m.
And that's when it is, May 8th from 7 till 10 p.m.
Location edit multi-line alt plus https://blindcanadians-car.zoom.
And that's our Zoom link for that. So remember I said the location edit field. So if I joined from my calendar on my phone, all I'd have to do is go to the event, double tap it, then go back to up to the top, find it again and flick down and hit join because the location is there. And I think it's also in the document. So we'll keep
Response
going.
edit read only accepted.
Okay, response is accepted.
Change response button.
I can change the response.
Document
don't
page 1
want to.
section 1.
Okay, so it tabbed me into the documents area and there was a little beep which tells me I'm in browse mode. So I'm in the mode like a website and I can tab to a link or I can hit NVDA has a link to link feature, which is the letter K.
Link.
And I can just
Join Zoom meeting link.
and I can just hit K until I hit the thing that says join Zoom meeting and I can hit enter and it would join the Zoom meeting right from here. So that's a typical meeting. If, however, when you get a meeting invite, if the link is not in the document area and it's only in the location, what you can do
Link.
to make life easier
Link change
for
response
you
button.
is go
Response
back
edit read.
to
Location
that
edit multi.
location where the link is, hit
HTTP.
home so that you know you're at the beginning, and hit Shift N
https://blindcan.
and copy that link with Control C. So I did Shift N, Control C. Then I'm going to tab back
Response
to
change
that
response.
document.
Document selected.
And
Confirm.
I want to put that link there. So I'm going to go out of browse mode into edit mode. So with JAWS, I think you would hit enter and it would take you out of the insert Z or insert Z is, it's a toggle. So if you did insert Z again, it would take you into edit. So I'm just going to do NVDA spacebar. It turns it into an edit box.
Info bar.
And then I am going to try.
Info bar accepted.
Oh, and it moved me right out of it.
Document
Just
page
a
1
minute.
section.
Let's go back there.
Confirming.
And I'm going to try.
Confirming.
I'm going to go to a blank line and I'm going to try and paste that link there. Oh, and it's not going to work
Confirming.
for me. So if you're doing your own email, your own calendar invite, you can always edit. If you're not, and it's just an email, it's a meeting from someone else, as you noticed, you can't edit it. So you have to hope for Outlook users on Windows to make life easy that they've also put the link in the document area as well as in the location, because nothing else works really consistently, I guess is what I want to say. The other option is to copy it out of the location field, go to a web, open a web browser, go to the address bar and paste the Zoom link there. But if hopefully the people who are sending you meeting invites will put the link in the body in the document area as well as in the location field. So I'm going to escape out of this meeting. We're back to my calendar. I've talked about recurring. I've talked about meetings. I've talked about the view.
NDN code.
I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that I can. Let me stop there and take questions. Wow, I babbled for an hour. Oh my God.
Richard Marion raised hand.
Richard.
Richard Marion raised hand.
My
I just
God.
woke myself up now. No.
Yeah,
couple
believe me,
things.
I would be too. Oh my God.
Couple things, and I don't know if it's a question or a comment more than anything. Earlier when you talked about recurring meetings and you had it in
Yes.
your active appointment view, would those recurring meetings in Outlook show up if you switched your view to the calendar view?
Good question. To which I don't have an answer because I have never liked the calendar view, and so I've never used it for more than it took me
Richard Marion
to
has lowered hand
change it. If it
Yeah.
turned out that I was in calendar view by default, I changed it so quickly because I
Yeah.
just could never get used to that. I could never get a hang of where you would tab and where you would arrow and how. It just, yeah.
It's a bit,
So
it's a
I'm
bit of a pit, but for
sorry,
anyone that's using calendar view, your recurring appointments might
they
do
should
like
show,
iCal
they
and show up in the calendar view, but it's that's sort of you wouldn't, anyone that's using calendar view would know. The other
Yeah.
question / comment, I think if someone sends you an appointment, I think the only way to delete it off your calendar is reject the appointment. Like, so like, and
Yes.
then it would be removed from your calendar.
Well,
Because like, I think if someone else sends the appointment, I don't think you can actually delete it from your calendar or non-editable,
yes,
but
you can. You
you can. Okay.
And
Okay.
what it will often do, and I don't want to test this right now,
It'll notify the
but
person
it will
that you're not attending.
it may notify them. It may ask you, are you sure you want to do this? But I don't usually, you're right. You don't usually delete someone else's meeting other than to say decline to it.
Yeah.
And you can always change your response. If you accepted it and something came up, you can always go in and hit that change response button and go in and change your response to decline, and then it goes away. But yeah, usually when I'm deleting something, it's that I have put a placeholder in my calendar and waiting for someone to send me the actual invite.
And then
then I
you delete the
get rid of
placeholder.
my own. Yeah, I get rid of
Yeah.
my own.
And then the other thing I was wondering, can't you, if if it's on the location, if it's a Zoom link, I thought you could, maybe that's an iCal thing as well too, but I thought you could just hit enter on it and then it would open up the actual link if you're in the location
doesn't.
field. It
No,
doesn't.
it
Okay.
doesn't. It puts an enter. Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Like I said, it may do it once, but it's not consistent. I've tried and I've never found it to be a consistent way of joining. And it's ironic because sometimes when you get a reminder, it will show you a join button, but that's not consistent either. Sometimes if it's Teams, Microsoft will let you join right from there, and I've had it happen with Zoom once or twice.
I think it
But,
depends
know,
on having done a corporate Zoom thing before. For trying, if you enable the Outlook integration in Zoom, then it works as Zoom. But not everyone enables that integration with Zoom, so
yeah,
that's why it's not consistent.
Yeah, well, and it's just, well, and Zoom isn't consistent either, so, but we won't go there. All right, so
That's all I have. Great.
YouTube chat
okay,
slash
let me
message
just
screen
go
sharing
back
meeting controls column screen
to,
share
all right, I'll leave my screen sharing happening, but I do want to get to my participant
video layout
list.
window.
Oh, video layouts, isn't that
Annotate
interesting?
current location code screen sharing meeting controls window.
Okay, let's try.
Participant.
There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to go through my participant list.
Richard Murray. Penny comma. Pat Marie. Marsha. Marie.
All
Pat.
right,
Penny. Richard.
so, Pat,
Pat.
Marie,
Rich. Marie Talit. Marsha Yale. Marie. Richard. Pat. Penny comma.
Penny, anyone have any questions? I didn't realize I was babbling for so long. I apologize. I don't like usually doing that. Wow. Time just flew.
Richard Marion. Penny comma. Computer audio muted.
Okay, so everybody's muted. If there's no questions, I just want to make sure. If anyone has any questions that pop up later, just email me. I'm always happy to answer questions. This will be up on YouTube by probably the end of this week. Does anyone want to ask any questions?
No, but I'm glad
No.
you're putting it up on YouTube so that I can go back to it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And if you're watching the replay on YouTube, if you're not live with us now, please, please, please subscribe. You'll get notifications when we put stuff up there, and you can always find us. So we're at Blind Canadians, and thank you very much. Yes, please subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube, and if you haven't just wandered away because that was really bad. Thank you so much for joining us, and we're Blind Canadians. We're Alliance for Equality of Blind Canadians. Our YouTube channel is Blind Canadians, very convenient, and happy to the rest of your day, and thank you.